Hey, welcome back to Matter of Fact. Championship weekend, man. Eagles, Commanders, Bills, Chiefs. Winner goes to the Super Bowl. Loser joins everybody else in Cancun, man. You excited? You ready?
Uh, no, not necessarily excited, but I am ready. I'm ready.
All right. That's a bet. Yeah, man. Let's start off with the Eagles, Commanders. If you want to bring up the
Yeah,
little layout.
got you. All right, let's get into it. First matchup. Uh, not excited to see one of these teams make it to the Super Bowl, but that's your reward for being a good football team, having a good football season. So they earned it. They deserved it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is it feels like this podcast was bad luck or something. As soon as we start this joint, y'all miss the playoffs. We have the third pick, and then we gotta watch these two teams, and it's just kind of like a lose lose. It's like, all right, one of these niggas
Yeah,
gonna be in the Super Bowl. Shit, but I know
yeah,
who I'd rather see in the Super Bowl is that boy Jaden Daniels.
yeah. Which
Not
is
trying to
funny.
have another Chiefs Eagles rematch. Really
And
don't want
it's funny to me because I don't think there's a single Dallas Cowboy fan that hates Jaden Daniels. Like I don't think you can find a Cowboy fan that just straight up hates Jaden Daniels. The second Dak Prescott stepped into the NFL, they hated that man like he was a murderer.
that. I memean, bro,
It's
it's
just
just
it's just
a,
like the difference between the fan bases. You know what I mean?
it's just the Cowboys glaze, you know. What I mean, niggas don't know why. Niggas will be a fucking Jets fan and have some real hate in their heart.
Right. Has some animosity towards the Cowboys. It's like, bro, I don't even remember when we played y'all. Why are you beefing with me?
Yeah, but shit, man. I think the key to this game is for one, Jalen Hurts and his health. How healthy is he? Are we going to see the Jalen Hurts that we saw the year that they went to the Super Bowl? Are we going to see a wishy washy Jalen Hurts? And then how much can they stop Saquon? Because even if Jalen Hurts is fully healthy, they're going to want to feed him the rock. They're going to want to center the offense around him. So do the Commanders, who it seems like they're coaching up their defense like better than their personnel. Like they're bringing a lot out of them. So, but I mean, Saquon tends to fuck these niggas up, man. So I'm not sure if they're going to stop him, but his total is at 130, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, so he's been averaging 137 and a half scrimmage yards per game against the Commanders. Uh, that's actually the second most by a player against a single opponent in NFL history, trailing only Jim Brown. So
Bro.
like Saquon actually does have these cats number. Um, I think like obviously even in the past, the one chink in Dan Quinn's armor is that he really wants to put you in a position to where you're throwing the ball. Because when he knows you have to throw, that's when he can do his little sexy packages. That's when he can send linebackers and do all that cool stuff with his defense. But sometimes, if you could just control the line of scrimmage, which obviously we know Philadelphia's offensive line kind of has the capability to do that. And if Saquon can do what he's been doing, I definitely think this was going to be a tough one for Washington to contain Saquon if Kellen Moore and the Eagles offense just steady stick to the run and don't get away from it. And even like you were saying with Jalen, I think that this is going to be, he obviously is not all fully healthy, but he gonna take him a nice little perk 30, probably an hour before the game, probably take another one at halftime just to get him through it. And at the end of the day, I think they're just going to try to it's going to be a lot of dump off passes. Like I think it's going to be a lot of stuff to Goddard again. Maybe some screen passes if they feel like there's going to be a blitz coming to Saquon out the backfield. Uh, AJ Brown. I would not be putting AJ Brown on any tickets if I were you guys. Just an honest situation. Not to say that I wouldn't even hit his under because it's AJ Brown. You never know; he could go crazy. But the odds are really stacked against him for him to have a good game this week.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love under betting, but that's like my only under that I have for the player props that I like is his under. So I definitely feel that.
Yeah, and as for Jalen Hurts, like a real problem that he's kind of having in this Kellen Moore offense is that he's holding the ball for a very, very long time. Like he got sacked 7 times, and apparently 6 of those sacks came with over 4 seconds of him holding the ball. That's extremely long in the NFL.
Yeah, that's super long. That's a good
So
stat.
yeah, so it's just kind of one of those things where I think they're going to try to run some. If they are passing the ball, I think it's try to get the ball out quick to Deontay Smith, and also getting the ball out quick to the tight end. But a big key injury for Washington is on the offensive line. Their best O lineman, Sam Cosmi, is injured. He's out with a torn ACL. So they have a backup right tackle that will be inserted into guard. And that's definitely going to be something to keep an eye on because if he can't contain Milton and Jalen Carter, that might be curtains right there. Like that might be the one thing that this magical ride that Washington's on that they won't be able to overcome.
Yeah, another issue they're having is Deron Payne didn't practice today.
He's
So, hey,
playing though.
you think he's playing?
Yeah, bro. You can't you don't bro. His fucking arm would have to be off of his body in order for him to miss this game.
Let's,
There had to be no perks, no nothing in the whole entire building in order for this man to miss this game.
yeah, the pharmacist is out of stock and shit.
Yeah. There's nothing making me miss this.
Yeah, but Cosme is a big deal. I believe that's like the right guard, which is why you have Trent Smith right here. Um, good luck. Good luck to them boys. That's all I gotta say because like we've been saying, this 12-5 team regular season wise feels like more of a 9-10 win team, and they just find ways to win games, which all that matters at the end of the day. But part of that is their roster just overall doesn't stack up against this Eagles roster, which is why the spread is still at 6.5, despite this Cinderella story.
And another big thing, and again, it's just one of those situations where, and I'll always tell myself to be mindful of this, but like apparently, Washington hasn't played a home game in basically like a month. So they said that teams that have been gone from like playing away this many games, they they don't win this matchup. Like they do not win this matchup. And it's just kind of one of those situations where I feel like all the odds are kind of stacked against Washington to the point where just some fluke, like some more nut stuff is going to happen to where you know something, Jalen, they were winning, right? It wasn't like 21-0 or something like that. Jalen Hurts gets a concussion, and then now
I think
they're
it was
able
like
to
21-7, I think.
21-7, right? And they're driving when Jalen gets the concussion. I think they were able to pull it out and get a touchdown on that drive or a little bit later. But nonetheless, when you don't have Jalen Hurts, no matter how good or bad we think he's playing right now, he's still a starter level quarterback in the NFL. And the second that leaves your offense, it's curtains for anybody. You know what I mean? So I just think that they got to just stick to the script, let their defense take care of it. If they're able to get some stops, not even turnovers, but just stops, or Washington actually making them punt, and they could just control the line of scrimmage. Use Saquon Barkley. I think we got to see Philadelphia in the Super Bowl again. But if that magic, if that Jaden Daniels magic is still happening, and he still got a little bit more tricks in his bag, hey, Commanders made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, man. I'm definitely gonna have Commanders money line on one of my tickets for sure, just because I'm not really messing with the spread because I feel like it's either the Commanders win or they get blown out low key. Like I feel like
See,
those are the two
I think
main
it's
spreads that I
tight.
see. You think it's
I
tight
think
no
it's
matter what?
tight. Yeah, yeah. I think it's going to be tight. Like I just think it's going to be one of those games because I mean, at this point, man, people don't, you know what I mean. We don't really realize it, but everyone's going to be playing a little bit more conservative than they have been. Like you're a mistake away from not going to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, and I just think that when you get to this point, I don't. I'm gonna try to test them on the ground. Like I don't. Maybe I don't want to, but I gotta try to. If I'm Washington, I want to keep the ball out of Saquon's hands. I don't really want him with a bunch of cracks at breaking one free because I mean we've seen it this entire season. All it takes is one for him, and he actually has the second most in history, or the most in history, 60-yard run touchdowns in NFL history. He has like it's either the first or the second. Let me see if I can find that stat.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be tough. Like if they want to win this, the best chance, and obviously when we're talking about any football game, you want to come out with a lead early, but that's going to be real crucial. That way, the Eagles can't really play how they typically like to play, which is front running and being able to just hand it off and being able to just be secure in the fact that look, we don't have to put the ball in Jalen Hurts' hands too often. We could do these zone reads, we could do these design runs. And you have to worry about the quarterback's feet and the running back's feet. So that's going to be real key for them, especially with somebody like Saquon or Derrick Henry. These star backs, they always pick it up in the second half. So if they could
Right.
grab a lead and hold a lead in the first half, that's going to be real key for them. But if they're down like 7-10 going into the second, it's going to get tough to tackle that boy in the second half. Good news for Jaden Daniels and the Redskins, though. It doesn't look like it's going to be a weather game like last week. I'm seeing 0% chance of precipitation.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be like 39 degrees. It's a good day. It's a good day. But back to that stat. So yeah, so actually, this is kind of crazy, especially for it to be his eighth year in the league. But Saquon has had 6 rushing touchdowns on at least 60 yards or more, and it's two more than any other player in NFL season history.
Say that again.
So basically, like he has runs of over 60 yards or more for touchdowns. He has 6 of them, and that's 2 more than any other running back in NFL history. Like Chris Johnson, Reggie Bush, like
Y'all said
all
Reggie
of those
Bush.
guys.
This ain't college. Adrian
Yeah, Reggie
Peterson.
Bush, Adrian Peterson. Reggie Bush still get out of you.
He was not doing that in the league.
Get
But
out.
but yeah, I mean, we over here we're sitting here and praying for Jaden Daniels. Pull this one off, finish out the Cinderella story nice. It's gonna be tough, man. This is a let's see. Let's go to their previous 2 matchups, right? You had the Bucks. They don't have a
Yeah,
roster like this. You know what I mean? Then you
mhm.
have the Lions with the depleted defense, who, we're thinking they're both their coordinators. They can say what they want. The Lions can say what they want, but you can't tell me that's not a factor. You taking interviews and you assembling a coaching staff, knowing you're about to leave, especially with the lack of defensive adjustments. So you're going from that to this Eagles team that's locked in. They've been here before, and hey,
Yeah,
man,
and I
any given
mean,
Sunday
like,
though, it's not
well,
impossible.
it's just also one of those things where these cats actually have like the talent. Like Quinyon Mitchell, um, basically they were lined up for 35 or 46 snaps, and when McLaurin was aligned across from Quinyon Mitchell, he literally wasn't targeted once. He wasn't targeted one time. So you know what I mean? Like it's just this team they're prepared on every single level on defense where before you were playing teams in the playoffs, that Kirk Cousins went for what, 9 touchdowns, like 1,000 yards on Tampa Bay's defense in 2 games. And then Detroit, they didn't have no bodies, and then they even lost bodies in that game. So it's kind of like you were going against. It was just as long as your offense could put up some points, y'all had a shot. It didn't turn the ball over, which they didn't do. They scored points and didn't turn the ball over. This is kind of the first time that you're playing a playoff team that's equipped to go toe to toe with your offense.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll hit player props for both of them after we get done breaking down the Chiefs Bills. But yeah, like I said, X factors. Can you stop Saquon? What's Jalen Hurts looking like? Is AJ Brown fully healthy? Is he going to keep dropping balls like he did last week, which opened up the opportunity for the Rams to stay in the game and be able to possibly win that game? And then on the other side of the ball, are you going to be able to establish the run like you were able to do against the Lions? Because Brian Robinson was able to get busy. We're going to have to see that again from him. Austin Eckler on the ground and in the passing game, we're going to have to see that again from him. And then Jaden Daniels, are they going to be able to stop him? Are they going to be able that spy they're going to put on him? Is that going to work out for him? What the? Am I here?
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. One thing that is a big loss for Philadelphia is Nakobe Dean is out, and he's the middle linebacker. The fact that you don't have a linebacker like him in a game like this, again, where you're talking about establishing a run by Washington, you have to worry about QB spies and rollouts. It's just you need to have somebody in there that's at least a heady guy. And he's not going to take the bait and bite on it or all the cheese when Jaden acts like he's going to give it to the running back and he takes it out and he runs it down. And, you lost containment. So now it's a first down. That happened in Detroit. And they lost. They're at home now. They're in Cancun because of it. So, now it's just being able to replace Nakobe Dean and, whoever's going to wear the green dot now, just diagnosing it, making sure everything stays smooth, and should be good to go over there on that side.
Yeah, we see Zach Bond. He's getting defensive DPOY votes. But besides that, we have Oren Burks. They're replacing Dean.
He's the replacement for Dean right there. So
yeah. And then on offense, it seems like Diami Brown, he's stepping up to sort of be that wide receiver too that we've kind of been looking for with this team. Zach Ertz obviously won he scored the game-winning touchdown in that Super Bowl against the Patriots for the Eagles' first Super Bowl ever. But so you at least have that in the locker room. That should help out with that.
Well, I mean, this is a revenge game. This is a revenge game for him. So you know what I mean. He obviously he's gonna be amped up to play. You're right. As for Diami Brown, kind of funny, man. It's a great time to step up for him, but basically, he's caught 5 catches downfield for 141 yards through 2 games, and that was the number of downfield receptions that he had the entire regular season.
Yeah, man, he's stepping up at the right time. You need somebody to step up. Here we go. Get after.
I got you. So, but again, now you're going against we'll probably talk about this a little bit more when we get into the props. But now you're going against legit cornerbacks now. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that he's not capable of making big plays for Jaden, but just kind of be mindful. Like when he was playing starter quality corners during the season, he wasn't getting off. And there's no more backups to the backups out there and Tampa Bay defense. So just kind of temper your expectations. Not to say he can't get 50 yards, make a few plays for his team, but it might not be a crazy game from Diami as wide receiver 2.
Yeah, shit. Wide receiver 2 might have to be Eckler.
It's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna they're gonna need a few people. I think this is gonna be. Honestly, I'm not even joking. I think this is gonna be a Zach Ertz game, like just based off the matchup, based off him being in the middle of the field, them having maybe a mismatch with the linebacker in space. Obviously, when they get closer to the goal line, you saw it last week. You saw it the week before. They love running trips, and they just run him on a drag route, and it's open. It just be open. Like, I mean, I don't know what kind of routes he's running, but I don't know what kind of footwork he got, but he's probably scored 3 touchdowns that way throughout the season. So keep an eye out on that. I think he's going to be a big part of the offense, especially if this is a close game.
Yeah, for sure. But like I said, man, Jalen Hurts, this is your time. AJ Brown, you better be reading some catching books. You know what I mean? You read some catching books pregame, during the game, whatever you want to do. But we got an eye on you. That those receiving props have been going down and down each and every game. I think it was like at 80, 90 before. It's like at 60, 65 right now. So
yeah,
I think it's going to be a Dallas Goddard game, in my opinion.
Because he's going against Marshawn Lattimore. And I didn't even know this until today, but Marshawn Lattimore hasn't even let up anyone over 50 yards, a 50-yard receiver since 2023. Or 2023. So basically, like he and that was Justin Jefferson. So
yeah, and he had an underrated performance that kind of went under the radar in this last game because Mike Evans was like killing him in that first playoff game. But last game he played really well. So
he wasn't even targeted.
Yeah, well, we'll see what your boy Dan Quinn's cooking up for those receivers over there. But yeah, we can move on to Bills Chiefs, the game we've been waiting for. Bills Chiefs, legacy Josh Allen game. Can he get it done? Because it feels like whoever wins this wins the Super Bowl. Is what it feels like to me.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, kind of feels that way. But yeah, I mean, this is just a classic spot. So, right now, I think the sentiment is that Kansas City go ahead, probably go ahead and take care of business here and advance to take a shot at that 3-peat.
You think that's what's going to happen, though?
Yeah, I mean, if I were to like, that's that. I think to the point where like we getting value on this team. Like, yeah, like the way I feel about this game is kind of like, yeah. I mean, I just think Kansas City. I mean, to the point where they have go ahead and look at the reps that they have for the game. Like, look at the reps that are in place for this game, and look at what their record is. Like,
I'm glad you brought the refs in. I kind of have a feeling in terms of the calls that are going Kansas City's way because it feels like this year more than any year they have been kind of leaning towards them. I feel like the refs rein it in this game because it's like, yo, the spotlight is really on y'all right now. Call this game right.
I think that's the part where it gets tricky. You know what I mean? Because what is reining it in? Is reining in not calling anything? Is reining in calling holdings on Kansas City? Because I didn't even notice until, again, today. Kansas City does not get called for holding in the playoffs, but they usually lead the league in holding calls during the regular season. And holding calls are like, I mean, that's a sack. That's essentially a sack. So when you're not getting that call in a playoff game, in a division, conference championship game, like, yo, that's kind of wild. So like, what is reining it in to you, I guess?
I guess reining it in for me would be like, look, if something is egregious is called, like makeup calls. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you want them throwing the flag for everything.
Not for everything, but just make sure it's like it's clear. Make sure you're calling it consistent for the whole game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
From the
yeah. Refs are
opening
people
whistle.
too, so I don't think we getting that. Refs are people too, and the NFL did a good job of assigning a certain ref to this game, which is so absurd because you know. Wait, actually, no. Ed Hockley's not in this game. Ed Hockley's in Washington, but that's even worse. That's even worse. Ed Hockley is refing the Washington Commander game, and he literally was the reason that they almost lost the football
Well, which game are you
game.
referring to?
The Saints game. Remember at the end of the Saints game where the Saints had like a long ball down the field. He caught it, and there was like a few seconds running off, but the tickers for whatever reason the clock was stopped when the clock wasn't supposed to be stopped, and the clock started once the quarterback was under center and he picks, you know what I mean, he hikes the ball and he spikes it, but it was only like 3 or 4 seconds left. So if they would have just kept the clock running, they would have ran out of time. And they even admitted after the game, like, "Oh yeah, that was my bad." And now they
I,
pull this at the game for no. I don't want this man near my football team. I don't even like the Commanders.
it's annoying when they do that. It's like, oh yeah, that was our bad. Well, do something about it. Give that nigga a fine or
Like that
something.
should be a
Give him.
punish, right?
Yeah, you
If
got
he's
suspect.
rewarded,
It's like, hey, that's a yo. You have three of these really bad calls that dictate games. You suspended for like a game or two. You know what I mean? Put one of the bench refs in or some shit.
but see, they're not going to do that because now we're vindicated. You know what I mean? Like the masses are vindicated. Like, oh yeah, like the refs. See, I knew he sucked. Like they got to, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know how this shit goes.
That would cause chaos. It's like, yo, see that this ref got suspended for that, and then now the pressure's on the NFL. Like, yeah, you know what I mean. But
Yeah,
I mean, I guess the silver lining, what we could hope for, is like this isn't really like the NBA or any other league where it really matters in terms of the market. Like we watch the games no matter what. Every Sunday we watching every game because it's the shortest season. You know what I mean? Like
bro.
that's why I'm. It's just like yo, you're Bills making the Super Bowl would be dope for the league too. So hopefully they call this one right. But let's talk about this, assuming the refs aren't a major factor.
All things
Um,
fair. All things are equal.
yeah. All things considered, um, X factor for this game, it's these teams are like so similar to me because none of their main options are like they both these quarterbacks could distribute the ball and feed all their receivers. You know what I mean? So it's kind of about who steps up in that department. But at the same time, in terms of the running game, Pacheco hasn't looked the same. How do y'all split that backfield up? I kind of want to see what's that been looking like for them. How
I
much they've
mean,
been using Kareem Hunt.
the short yardage back, and I mean, even after the second half, Kareem Hunt has been getting carries.
He's been looking like the better, healthier back.
Well, I mean, he didn't break his leg 3 months ago. So it's like sometimes I got to remind myself that this man is playing football. Like he broke his leg. Like, yeah, I
Hey,
mean,
shout
football
shout out
players.
shout out to 2025 technology and sports science, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I
we do
mean,
take that shit for granted because it's like, before it was like, oh, this nigga tore his Achilles, he broke his leg, his career might be over. Now it's
I,
like, yeah, I'll be back in 2 months. Yeah, I'll be there
no,
for
the
y'all.
craziest thing to me was like people were like holding on to him in fantasy, like on their IR spot, and I was like, bro, like he broke his leg. Like even when he's healthy, he not about to be running a 4-3. He just
Yeah,
broke his leg.
because we drafted him in different leagues, right? I was one of those people because I don't know, I didn't really need the spot for anybody else. But it's funny because I got Kareem Hunt and I had Pacheco on the IR, and so when Pacheco came back, he just muddied everything up. Like, so bro, who do I even start? Because Hunt's been looking good, but shit. But yeah, that's going to be key if they could get Hunt and Pacheco going because James Cook has been looking like a beast. He's been doing this thing. And then Ray Davis, nice little thunder and lightning combo there.
Ty Jerome too. I mean, he scored.
Yeah, so you might have like a three-headed monster, underrated little three-headed monster there. Amari Cooper hasn't been doing much, but we've seen his comments like, yo, it's just about winning, which is probably refreshing for Bills fans given their relationship with Stephon Diggs over the years, where it's like, bro, you literally lead in the league in receptions. You complaining about getting the ball more. How much more do you want the ball, bro? So that's probably refreshing for them. Selfless wide receiver room there. You got Matt Collins might make a play, but the key person and the most productive receiver, probably the best receiver over there is Khalil Shakir, your boy. So, um,
Yeah. And through the numbers, it even kind of says that he's accounted for 33.3% of their target share for the 2024 playoffs. And this is like the highest target share for one player since Travis Kelce in 2022. And he was at 35.1. So he is the security blanket. I kind of been like screaming at this, you know what I'm saying, the whole entire season basically. But again, this is a perfect time for him too. In this game, just due to the fact that he'll be running routes over the middle of the field. Uh, Definitely consider taking his receptions. Maybe you don't want to touch his yards because of the way he plays. He's just kind of okay. We need 6. He's gonna get 7. You know, we need 7. He gets to 8. And then he kind of sometimes he goes down. He is capable of doing a little bit more, but you know, just kind of depend on him being that security blanket for Josh Allen and a run heavy scheme. That's a big thing too. Again, kind of what I was alluding to when I was talking about the the Philadelphia Eagles and the Commanders game. I think that they're going to keep the same approach that they had throughout this entire playoffs, Buffalo, and also the Chiefs throughout this entire season. I think they're going to take their time. I think they're going to take their time with pace. I think a lot of people are still kind of stuck in this 2022 type Chiefs Bills offense in those type of games, and these teams simply don't want to play that way. They don't want to play that way, and people, they're in their minds, it's like, nah, you got to come out and you got to air it out going against Pat Mahomes, or Pat Mahomes has air it out going against Josh Allen. But in reality, I don't think they want the other one to have the ball like that. And I think that, especially for what happened last week with the careless turnovers by some of these teams, potentially causing them the loss. I think that they're going to keep that same scheme, that same run heavy approach. You can still run design runs with Josh Allen, so he's another back for you. And on Pat Mahomes' side, even if the running game isn't going, they're number one in running back success rate. And basically what that stat is it's not about how many yards you get per carry, it's about how many yards you get to where you need a first down. So if you get 4 yards and then you get 3 yards, and then on third down you get 4 yards, that was 100% success rate. And even though they don't have explosive runs, they always manage to get first downs. And when they do that, that keeps the clock going, keeps the drive going, keeps the keeps the keeps the offense on the field, and it tires down the defense. So for me, I feel like we've been kind of getting free points on the under here, just because I don't see this being one of those games where Josh Allen's throwing for 350 and 3, and also Pat Mahomes. He is going to take some shots downfield, and he missed them in the last game, which I think he might be able to, complete some of those passes in this one. But even with that being said, I don't think he gets to like a 300-yard, 275-yard passing game, simply because that's just not how they want to play offense.
Yeah. So, like you said, though, like both of these teams and all the teams we've seen get eliminated recently, what's been the dagger is turning the ball over. And both these quarterbacks have been doing a great job of keeping the turnovers at a minimum, or at least not being the cause of these turnovers. So I think the game flow, the way I see it, it's going to start off like that. Like we're not going to see peak Pat Mahomes when he had Tyreek Hill and prime Kelsey and all that. They're going to keep the game how they want to keep the game. Like Josh Allen had 150 passing yards last week, something like that.
50,
Probably
and then Pat 171.
Yeah, so I think it's going to start off like that, and I think the fireworks happen in the second half. I do think this becomes a shootout at a certain point.
Why do you think
It's just a gut feeling. It's just a gut feeling.
Okay.
They feel like it feels like you have like a machine gun locked and loaded, and it's like, do I have to take this bitch out? I don't really want to take this bitch out, and then eventually you're gonna have to take that bitch out.
See,
just a gut feeling. So you taking the under? You taking the under on this game now?
Oh, I smacked it.
Oh, you smacking the under?
I smacked it under. I mean, because I just
that's risky business.
Nah, because I mean, when's the last time the Chiefs even scored 30 points? Their implied team point total is 30 points. What's the last time they've gotten to 30?
But when it comes to when it comes to the playoffs, you got to kick that regular season shit out.
No, this is a playoff stat too.
Yeah, I get that, but yeah. When I think of when's the last time they scored 30 points, that was kind of like the whole regular season thing is they didn't go over 30 points like at all.
But no, even last year they didn't go over 30.
What, in the playoffs?
Yeah. Like even last season, they didn't get to 30 points. You know what I mean? So it's like the way that they play is like they don't really do that anymore. I feel like they probably played like the Chargers or the Broncos the last time they had 30 points.
So last year when they played in the division round, the score was 27-24. So you don't see a possible.
That's what I think. That's what I think is going to be.
But then that overhits. Then
that would be like if it was a shootout. That's what I think it would be 27-24. But like I don't even like that's if it was a shootout. I don't even think I don't even think we're getting that because the way that they're going to be playing in the first half, they're going to be burning the clock. They're going to be running the clock. The first quarter is going to go by so quick. I bet you it won't even be 30 minutes. First quarter is going to be done with. So you know what I'm saying? Okay, 3-3-3-6. You know, kind of like what we got last week.
I mean, look at last year division round. And some of these key guys we seeing, right? Got both the kickers in the first quarter. Then we got Josh Allen with a touchdown run. Then you got Kelsey in the third quarter. Got Kelsey again, and then you got Shakir. Then you have Pacheco there at the end. So, I mean, these are two teams. They've seen plenty of each other.
Which is again, I feel like what I think how it's going to go is similar to what we want. Like a lot of people last week believed that Josh Allen was going to air it out last week because they were going against a pass funnel defense. Like Baltimore is number one in run stopping defense, and it's like,
hey, wait, there we go. Remember what I brought up last week? Because I'm looking at last year that DeMar Hamlin trick play. He got 2 yards on a run. Just looking at the box
score.
Ambulance.
Yeah. The ambulance. Shout out to the ambulance. But yeah, like, and that's my whole thing. Because one of the guys, he's like, oh, they're the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to be able to stop the Bills' run. And I'm like, whoa. Do you just feel that way, or why are you saying that? Because they just went against the number one ranked run defense, and they didn't give a fuck. Like, we running this shit, and I think for them it works because they actually be driving the ball doing that. And I mean, if Justice Hill was getting off on you, why can't Isaiah Pacheco or Kareem Hunt kind of, average a nice little yards per carry, 4.5 yards per carry on the ground against you guys if Justice Hill could do it? You know what I mean? I mean, I get the Derrick Henry situation, but
and then with the Chiefs, if the run's working, they're not just going to abandon it like we see Todd Monken do. I mean, Derrick Henry didn't even have 20 carries last game. Justice Hill should have had a good 5 more carries the way he was running it, getting about 7 yards a carry. So that's what also comes down to too, the coaching matchup. Andy Reid, he's going to have something for these boys. We know that.
Yeah, I just think that again, if they needed to pull it out, like if say the scenario where I could see there being a shootout is Bills are up 10-0 early, or something crazy happens, sack fumble, pick six, 14-0 early, 14-3 early, and now it's like, all right, we got to kick it into gear. Travis, hey, come on, run the touchdown play. You know what I mean? Xavier Worthy, get downfield. D Hop, let's turn up. You know what I mean? But as the way that these cats have been trying to avoid playing mistake free football, I just think that they're going to keep what's been working. Like, I mean, I think it was kind of weird seeing the Bills run the ball as heavy as they did, especially with Josh Allen. But it's kind of like, I mean, they moving the ball. It's not like they're not balling. So, and when he needs to throw, he's getting first downs. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it looked like he didn't. I mean, no, he still had a good game, but yeah, he didn't have that many yards. But when he needed to pass, he needed to complete passes, he was doing it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
the
just think
man.
that's playoff, like that's championship football. Like I think that's I think that's kind of showing us like that's how you win in January.
Yeah, for sure. Another key injury, Taylor Rapp is out. So we got Cole Bishop here replacing him. So that's a major injury for that Bills defense. So, hopefully, as someone who wants to see the Bills get to the promised land, that's actually my lock of the week. I do think the Bills win this one, and then they find a way. I think this is their year. I think we go into the offseason being like, Josh Allen's locked in at number 2 quarterback spot, solidified, versus before you could kind of flip flop it. One week it's Josh Allen's second best, another week it's Lamar Jackson. To me, this just feels like the Bills' year. And when it comes down to these games, sometimes there's not a lot of science to it. Sometimes it's just a gut feeling, just like my gut feeling that second half is going to turn into a shootout. At least that's how I'm feeling.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of fans are feeling that way. Why would you know what I mean? Why would we not want that? You know what I'm saying? So it makes sense. But yeah, man, I gotta. I'm going with the Chiefs. I mean, I just think that now it's not as much value, but like 1.5 points on the Chiefs, I gotta take it. Even if I'm wrong, I gotta take it because you mean to tell me that if they kick a field goal, they win? All right, like I cover that. Yeah, all right, I'll take it. Now it's gotten out to 2.5, but even at 2.5, I'll probably just take the Chiefs. Um, take the under Chiefs money line, and then probably take like Commanders plus 6.5 if I can still get that. You
Yeah,
know,
so we're on opposite ends of this game. You like the Chiefs and the under. I like the Bills and the over. So,
yeah,
well, we'll be back here Monday, Tuesday, see how that works out. You know what I mean?
right,
But
yeah.
um yeah, the player props that we like for both these games. If you took Kincaid last week, you're heavily disappointed. So was I. I like taking good
So
players to
why
bounce
did y'all
back.
take him? Why did y'all take Dalton Kincaid last week?
Why not?
Oh, okay. All right.
Why not?
No,
What's wrong with
right.
Dalton Kincaid? I'm taking him
He
again this week.
yeah. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Do your thing. Do your thing.
Yeah, so I'm taking Dalton Kincaid. I like
Okay.
good players to bounce back from subpar games because of the game script that I think is going to happen. Um, I think he's going to be necessary, and because of his game, his yards is at 32 and a half. So we got 32 and a half over for him. Give me Shakir. I took his receptions last week. I actually bumped it up one. I think it was like at 4.5, and I was like, give me 5.5, just for some juice. But I'm gonna just keep it where it's at right now. It's at 5.5 now for plus
Oh,
money.
really? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm taking that at plus money. Um, and then we have to go with Kelsey again. I smacked Kelsey last week. Going to smack Kelsey again this week. It's gonna be another Kelsey game, and you don't have Taylor Rapp. You know what I mean? You're down to safety. Give me Kelsey.
I mean, even Mark Andrews could have had him. I mean, Mike Andrews and even Isaiah Likely were cooking them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
In the middle of the field. So you
Which,
know, and
which brings
yeah,
me to my other boy, Noah Gray. It's just value with the yards in receptions, 1.5, just 2 catches, or maybe 1 catch for. Actually, I'm probably going to go with the receptions. I think he catches it at least 2 times. Seeing how they struggled with those tight ends last week, and we know how Chiefs they like using their tight ends, not just Kelsey, when they were depleted with the receiving options. Shit, they were using like tight end 4. So I think they get baked in. And speaking of Kincaid having a weak game, your boy Hollywood Brown, I think he bounces back, taking his yards at 38.5. I think he gets an easy 40. Shit, he could get that in like 2 catches. You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean,
He get
they take a shot to him. If he, it's just whether if he catches it or not, he'll get a shot.
This is what they got him for. This game like this is what they got him for. So, um, yeah, at least for that game, if you want to go for what you like, and then I'll get to my Eagles Commanders picks.
All right. Yeah. So again, I'm just kind of keeping it simple. Travis Kelsey, 70 yards. All right. He's only got the. I mean, he's gotten that in 13 out of 14 games. So Travis Kelsey, 70 yards until he doesn't. And then I'm going Josh Allen under 230 and a half passing yards. I got James Cook for 40 plus with the under 48 and a half. In Kansas City minus 1.5, and the Kareem Hunt 25-yard. And that parlay is a 788 plus 788 parlay. $35 to win $310. That's just something that I just really feel strong about. I'll probably dumb it down a little bit and put like a full unit on it, but yeah, I just see that being the game script. And then after that, I got Khalil Shakir just being a security blanket that he is. And also when they played earlier in the season, Khalil Shakir actually had his career high of 12 targets in this game. So I'm keeping it simple though. I'm not even going to 5 to 6 on it. I'm just at +5. And then I'm gonna go with him to get over 50 yards. So Khalil Shakir +5 receptions and then over 50 yards. Now, I do think that the Chiefs, they are one of the worst pass defenses when it comes to tight ends in the NFL. But however, it's not that I don't like Dalton Kincaid. It's that Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid split snaps last week, and they had the same amount of targets. And Dawson Knox, his numbers at 13 and a half, or at least I got it at 13 and a half. It might be up a little bit more now. And I just feel like that's just a little bit easier to get than going for 32 and a half from Dalton Kincaid. Not necessarily saying he can't get it,
No,
but
that's a good take. I like
yeah,
that.
it's just I might as well, if they splitting and they both had the same amount of targets, I might as well go with Buddy that got, that needs the less amount of yards to get to where I need to go. So that was a sneaky little look.
And they got that chemistry. They've been playing together for a while.
Right. I mean, he was the tight end there before Dalton even came through, so he might be low key a security blanket. But yeah. Oh, and then I guess I don't know if you guys can do this, but on FanDuel they have a special called Triple Crown, and my Triple Crown was Jaden Daniels to lead in passing, Travis Kelsey to lead the day in receiving yards, and Saquon Barkley obviously to lead the day in rushing. That is a plus 3,900 play out. So yeah, plus 3,900. So I put 25 down to win $1,000. I don't know if you can still get it at that number, but I really like that for real.
So what's the second crown? Jaden Daniels passing, Travis Kelsey. Okay.
Yeah. So Travis Kelsey to lead the day though. He got to lead the day. But the reason I think that's possible It's because, like I said, I don't believe AJ Brown is healthy and Marshawn Lattimore is going to be on him. Terry McLaurin, he's going to be dealing with, tough wide receiver matchup the entire day. I mean, with the cornerbacks over there in Philly. So that's the first game out the way. We just talked about how Khalil Shakir, I mean, he's a security blanket, but at the end of the day, he's not necessarily super big play guy.
Yeah, he's not the big play dude. Yeah.
So, it leaves the day to Old Faithful, right? This is what he do. And
I'm
then
gonna have to look into that Triple Crown shit. I like the sound of that. I might
yeah,
tell you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Get it in as soon as possible. I don't know if it's still at plus 3,900. I got that in last night, but you know what I'm saying? Just look at that or play around with it. Maybe hedge it. Whatever you feel could go off. You think there's going to be a shootout in this game? You might go ahead and put Josh or Pat in there as the leader. But I think if
It's funny. It's funny that you say that because you took Josh Allen under on his passing yards, and I was thinking when you were saying it, or when you were doing the recap of it, I was like, I'm gonna take all that, but I think I'm gonna do Josh Allen's passing yards.
Yeah, which again he very well could get over this. He's passed for over 280 yards in his last 4 away games, so it's not like he can't get over this. I just think that the way Joe Brady is calling the games right now and the way that he's playing, if they can't stop the run, they're not going to stop running. You know what I mean? So
sure, and that's why he was such a great addition. If you remember, I forget who the guy was that replaced him, but he had the viral clip of him smashing the shit in the booth and whatnot. And then when Joe Brady came in, started running the ball, James Cook's been that guy ever since. So,
and they haven't needed whatever the reason is, they haven't needed that quote unquote X wide receiver because of the way that Joe Brady is running the offense, which is kind of wild considering the fact that he was the offensive coordinator when Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Jay Jettas, and Terrence Marshall was going crazy and breaking records at LSU.
Hey man, you just got to tap into the personnel, which is, a good sign for this is why he's getting interviews, right? So,
right.
All right, cool. For the Commanders game, I'm taking Diami Brown. I think he's going to really have to really elevate himself and put a stamp. Like, yeah, I'm Terry McLaurin's partner right here. We're gonna run it up. So I'm gonna take his yards at. I was just at him, 40 and a half. Over there, 40 and a half. Yeah.
Dance. So they started at 35, got shot up to 42 and a half, and now it's coming back down to 40. I like 40.
Yeah, 40 is cool. 40 is cool. What else? Dallas Goddard. I think it's going to be a Goddard game. We're both kind of bearish on AJ Brown. So I think it's another Goddard game. I like Eckler's receiving plus rushing at 50. It's a little bit under 50, but I think I'm going to just juice it up and be like, look, he's going to – I don't want to call it disrespectful, but it feels like a steal to me for him to hit that.
Yeah.
What you thinking?
So I mean, I got 46 and a half, but my thought process is like, Austin Eckler isn't going to give you the old 75 yards on the ground, 30 in the air, 2 touchdown games that he was giving you back in 2022, but like he got enough to give you something in this game. He whatever he has left, he's going to leave it out there on that football.
Yeah, you keep talking about him like he's 35, bro.
No, but bro, running back's a tough position, man. He had a hell of a lot of carries at 5'9", 188 pounds. Like I'm being dead ass when I'm talking about him because it's like you can't do that every single. I mean, think about it. He literally led the league in touchdowns with 22, and in the next year he was a pumpkin, and then the next year he was gone. He's on this team in the shell of himself. I mean, the one that won people thousands of dollars in fantasy, he's not that Austin Eckler anymore. But tomorrow or on Sunday, he might be 80% of that. And that's well over 46 yards. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to shade, but this is just really how I feel.
Nah, I feel that. Besides that though, give me Zach Ertz and his receptions, 3.5. I think, they get it to him in key spots, almost like his anytime touchdowns as well as Josh Allen's rushing, or just Josh Allen anytime touchdown. He's been money with that, like damn near every week. Going to figure out a way to get him the ball, even if it's like a goal line sneak or whatever. Crucial.
Almost hit on a two anytime touchdown by Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen last week. $10 to win 675. So
damn, that's it. That sounds like a $1,000 play to win 10. I mean, to put down 10.
Yeah, but nah, bro, because that jump got juiced.
It got juiced.
Because of the touch push, and Josh Allen got two.
Right.
Josh Allen got two. And think about it. If they don't get a flag on that touch push, I catch.
Right. Or if he doesn't get hurt, they probably don't rush it the first 2 times with Saquon, and they just do multiple touch pushes. Yeah, for sure. Besides that, I think this is a game where, kind of like you said, with Eckler having to give it your all, Jaden Daniels going to have to give it his all. I'm taking the over on his rushing yards at about 55. Think he gets loose, and like you said, what's his name? N'Kobe Dean's not playing, so that might help out with that as well. Give me I like a value play for each of these, just somebody with low yardage, kind of like how you took Dawson Knox. Give me Zacchaeus. He's been kind of, off the radar a bit, 20.5. You can get that in one play, especially if they have to climb back in this one.
Right.
And give me Curtis Samuel 2 receptions.
Hey, he can do it.
Curtis Samuel 2 receptions. He looked like he had some juice either I think it was the Bucks game where he got active. Oh, wait, Curtis. Yeah. Not the Bucks game. He's on the fucking Bills now. But he had some juice on that one touchdown play.
So the last, because I forgot. I got one parlay where I got Zach Ertz anytime touchdown. Oh wait, no. I'm gonna do the one without them. All right, so this is a parlay for plus 1140. It's Austin Eckler over on his rushing receiving. Jalen Hurts over 5 yards rushing in the first quarter. Okay. And then Jalen Hurts over 31.5 yards rushing for the game. And then Jaden Daniels over 223 yards passing, because if they have a shot, it's going to be with his arm. And then also, again, Jaden Daniels over 1.5 touchdowns. He's got this in the last 7 to 8 games. So I just think that, again, if they even have an ounce of a shot in this football game, it's because of Jaden Daniels. And it's probably because of his arm. But yeah, that's plus, and that's at plus 1140. Put a little 25 on it to win 300. Whatever, or if you feel real good about it, slap a whole 100 on it, win 1,000.
We didn't mention it because I feel like for me it's too high, but definitely possible. But thoughts on the Saquon 130?
Obviously he can do it. He's averaging 137 yards per carry. Again, kind of like what you said, it's too high, so I wouldn't do it. If I were going to do something though, I would probably do maybe like a Saquon two tutties, or Philadelphia has been the first touchdown scorer in like 12 of the last 14 games. So if you want to do a first touchdown score with either Saquon or Jalen Hurts, or even hedge them both, that might give you a little bit of play money. So just something to look into. And that, I guess that doesn't even matter who gets the ball first either. They just 12 of the last 14.
Right. Commanders get it 3 and out. They get it on the next one.
Yeah. And again, we've been talking about running. Dallas Goedert could probably get a little touchdown. But I would probably put money that it's going to be Dallas Goedert, Saquon, or Jalen for a first touchdown for Philadelphia. Anytime touchdown. Or first touchdown.
Facts. And with Saquon, I'm dodging the 130, but his carries at 24.5, I think he hits that. I think they
Yeah.
give the ball to him a bunch. 25 to, I think he gets like a nice 27, 28 carries. So
Yeah, especially if Hurts is hurt. So that's something to look forward to too, like look at too, which is part of my like plan is if he doesn't get 5 yards in the first quarter, I already know what's up. You know what I mean? So then I'm like completely changing my like approach for live betting because if Jalen Hurts it doesn't want to run the ball, the entire game has changed at that point. So I'm gonna just go ahead and go from there.
facts. Last thing before we get out of here. I didn't get we didn't really talk about the spread for the Commanders game. What do you lean at?
I took the -6.5 with if it's -6.5, I'm taking Washington. If it's -6, I'm taking Philadelphia.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's all about the number there.
Yeah, I'm taking Commanders to cover no matter what because I think they just find a way to win. He's Neo. He's this year's Neo. Last year was C.J. Stroud, but he didn't make it this far. This year,
to Lamar and them boys.
yeah. When it comes to NFC, you don't got to run into a Burrow or an Allen or a Pat Mahomes in the division. So divisional. So why you're able to be here in the NFC. All right, but yeah, man, I'm excited for this weekend. Sunday, it's gonna be lit. Be safe with your bets. This is we only got like 180 minutes of football left, man. So take advantage of it. Have fun. If your shit don't hit, enjoy the game.
Yeah. Call that hotline. You bugging.
1-800 out.